Ciso. Oh, it's fabulous! A strike to get you up off your seats.
Hello and welcome to Seagulls Social, Sheffield United preview, and I'm joined by the main men, Ryan and Jack.
Before anyone asks where's Ben, we don't know either. So we're just going to hope he's okay somewhere, wherever that might be. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I still think he's in a ditch somewhere because he did go out last night. So Ben, from your ditch, please send an SOS if you need our help, or just blink twice.
You done messed up, Aaron!
And Jack, welcome, mate. Always a pleasure, never a chore.
Late call up, that's what I like to do, haven't been on for a while, actually, have I? So, form's been dipping a little bit since I wasn't on, so maybe it's about, maybe I'll bring the form back.
6-0 Albion win now.
Mate, fingers crossed. Yeah. I think it's going to be 8, actually. But let's start on that. Let's start on the form, actually. So, we do go into this, Ryan, a little bit out of form. Obviously, a big win against Palace. But then a disappointing dagger last minute against Spurs. How do you think? Do you think we're going to change anything, Ryan, going into this game, or do you think it's sort of business as usual with a few players coming back as well? Of course, Adingra, Valentin Barco now available, hopefully. What are your thoughts going into this one?
I didn't hear half what you said, but I heard my thoughts on going into this one. And I must admit, I'm not sure, but I do think we'll win, if that makes sense. I'm not comfortable with going to bottom of the league away, put it that way. So I'm a Brighton fan, and I hate playing teams at the bottom of the table, and particularly at their place. I don't know what it is. It just always gets to me. We saw Luton, we see us in the past. We struggle against some sort of teams, but at the same time, we have beaten them in the Cup. 5-2 quite convincingly, albeit we had João Pedro fit then, and I doubt he'll be back in time for Sunday. I think it was a couple of weeks, wasn't it? So you'll probably see him next week. So yeah, I don't know, Maz, to be honest with you, but I just want us to prove me wrong here and go there and make a statement and prove that we can go and break that Brighton stereotype of going to a team like Sheffield United. I say that intentionally. But no, seriously, I want to go to a bottom of the league side and prove that we're the better team like we know we are,
Yeah. And also, Jack, their form going into this at home hasn't been great. They've not won in their last 4 at home in all competitions. That includes Luton, West Ham, us, and Aston Villa losing 5-0 out last. What do you think going into this? Do you think the home form is going to play a factor? And obviously our away forms, indifferent. Obviously a bad loss against Luton.
Yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it? I agree with Ryan. I always get nervous against these teams at the bottom of the league. I think it's just a eternal pessimism within myself. But, I think that they're a poor team. I don't think it's insulting to say that they've not been good this season. I do think they do have some qualities. Brereton Diaz looks a very good player and looks a decent signing. They got a very good win last week. Luton, as much as I think everybody talks about Luton like it's an easy place to go, whatever. Like, it's not. We've seen it's obviously not an easy place to go, and to go there and win 3-1 is quite impressive. So, yeah, a little bit. I'm a little bit nervous. Usually are. I don't think there's been a single Brighton game I've been to in my life where I haven't been in some shape and form nervous. Look, I think we've got players coming back. Pedro's obviously a big miss, but I think we can still play football a good way. We've got Matoma back. We've got Adingra back. Barco is available by the looks of it. I don't know how much involvement he'll have. So, look, I think we've got every chance to win it, and I think we just need to play our game. We've been doing better away from home this season as well. We've traditionally in the last few years been a good away side. So, it'll be interesting to see how we sort of get on in this fixture. I think, we've got to take the Palace game where we're absolutely fantastic, and Spurs game, I don't think we were bad either. So, I think we need to take that and build on that and get some 3 points. Because, to be honest, Maybe this is also eternal pessimist inside of me, but I think we need to really start putting points on the board if we are going to push for another European place. And if we don't, then I don't think we've had a bad season if we don't get Europe by any stretch of the imagination. But then we need to start thinking, right now we need to start building up the points. Because I think this season's a lot more different that, the bigger teams are actually turning up. Villa are doing well. Newcastle have found form again. or they've at least won a game. So they'll start to pull away. So, yeah.
Yeah, and on that, Ryan, Jack's brought up a few points actually. So talking about Adingra's return, Barco potentially playing, I think that's the bit you missed of my question earlier. How much of a big of an impact do you think that will be of them players returning, and how key is it that off the back of the Spurs result, we do bounce back because of how horrible the defeat was?
Yeah, I think obviously it is important because that Tottenham game was pretty soul crushing, wasn't it, in the way we lost it. But at the same time, I would be surprised if we have a Adingra back for the game, just because I think he'd probably deserve a bit of a rest after the tournament he's just been through. But I don't know, he might be one of them that just wants to play. In which case, maybe we'll see him. But I think he only is coming back today, if I'm right in saying. And obviously, Valentin, I don't imagine we'll see him at all for a considerable bout. I reckon about a month until we see Barco break into us, really. But hopefully, I think coming back into it, obviously Mitoma, as we mentioned last week, was great. I thought he got a bit underrated perhaps online, but I thought he had a good game. Can't expect him to be taking on players like he was when he's just come back from injury and away from Japan, jet lagged as it was. But I think obviously the squad we've got available, mate, it's a team that, even without them players that have been unfit, it's a team that should be beating them. We're a good side, let's face it. So I think even with the Facundos, those sort of players are a second string, so to speak, from the beginning of the season. As we saw against them in the Cup, it's more than capable of taking them to the sword, definitely. Yeah.
And also, again, Jack, you mentioned a few players there. Brereton Diaz, of course, they've got that Vinny Souza as well, who played quite well last game. Gustavo Hamer. They've got a few good players. Who are you most worried about when it comes to the Sheffield United side?
I think Hamer's a fantastic player. I think he's a really good player, really solid player. Runs the midfield well. Where I do think, despite however well we're doing, for example, I think we are still lacking in that sort of breaking up the play in midfield. So I think that could be a slight dagger in our side. Brereton Diaz, in the couple of games I've seen him, he's looked good. He's a dangerous player. He was in the Championship. I still think the jury's out a little bit on him as a player, but it's dangerous attackers. And Souza, great little finish at the end of against Luton. So I don't know. It's a hard one. I think if we can contain them and do them well, we've got Dunk, we've got Van Heck. They're good at dealing with strikers. They've dealt with some of the best in the world. So we'll see. Sheffield United. I don't like to say we're definitely going to win a game, and I never do. But I think we should give them a little bit of respect. But we'll see how it goes. They have had some very toxic home games, shall we say, this season. So their home form has not been the greatest place for them to play, really. With
that Villa game was insane.
Yeah, that was was it that bit in The Simpsons where they go to Krusty Burger and some guy picks up the Hamburglar and beats him to death and then just he's screaming stop, he's already dead. That's what it was like that first half. So
that's so funny. But let's be honest. Obviously, we've held 6 to Villa this season, so it can happen to the best of us, eh? It can happen to the best of us. But on that, Ryan, let's talk about how important this game is. So Jack, again, brought up a good point, and this is why we love to have him on the pod. The European spot, how important is this game in that race for Europe? Do you think, let's say we lost this game, hypothetically, do you think that's going to derail our season, or do you think it's just another blip and we can bounce back and it's still a long way to go in the season?
Yeah, it's tough on that because obviously you don't want to sound over dramatic and those people that say, it's all over, because it's not all over until May. But obviously for confidence, you want to be taking as many points as you can from teams below you. That's obvious, I suppose, if you're pushing for that top spot. But we are late February, so second week of February now. By the time the game's played, we're in late February. So it's a period in the season, isn't it? The old cliches of business end of the season, and we are pretty much in that nearly. We want to be getting as many points now, mate, because notoriously. Brighton, weren't they, through Christmas, through January, we always struggled a bit under Potter. We always had that blip, didn't we, weirdly, and then we'd sort of pick up points as the sun come out, as it were. So hopefully, similar sort of things can happen. It was 14 degrees yesterday, mate, so I think half of Brighton would have been in shorts. So definitely Sheffield would have been. So up the Albion if the sun's shining, that's for sure.
Yeah, and just on that as well, Jack. Our form, I've seen a lot of the media now picking up on the whole 3 wins in 17 for Roberto De Zerbi, and also they're saying he's got a bit of needle with the board. There's unrest at board level. Again, how much do you think that's going to come into play this season? And yeah, do you see us? Is our form worrying to you right now?
No, form isn't worrying to us, because I think the media will always be the media, and that 3 wins in 17 really doesn't give the full picture of the whole situation, because within that we've had 2 FA Cup wins. I mean, admittedly against probably lesser opposition. We've had 4
Europa League wins. Yeah.
4 Europa League wins. So, that we're winning games still. I think this was always going to happen. I think anybody could have predicted this once Europe kicked off, that we might drop off a little bit. It was always going to be hard to sort of juggle all those games with a lot of players which aren't fully experienced in European football. But I think I do agree with sort of Ryan's point a little bit, that, it is coming to the business end of the season now. We do need to start doing things. I think on the De Zerbi being unhappy with the board and all of that, I'm a big believer that it's just all a load of guff, really. I think people hear what they want to hear. If they want new signings, they hear that he's unhappy with the board. If they think we've got enough, they go, oh, we haven't made enough signings. I do agree that maybe we needed a couple more in the transfer window. But to be honest, I don't think he's that unhappy. If he was desperately unhappy, he would resign. And I think with all the speculation going around with potential for him in Liverpool, Barcelona, people are always like, oh, how can we keep him here? And I think the really annoying, the conclusion to that will be, he's probably going to go to Barcelona or Liverpool regardless. If those 2 come knocking, I can't see him wanting to stay.
It's true.
And that's not disrespectful to him. I just think you don't turn down an opportunity to go to one of the 2 biggest clubs in the world. As much as it hurts me to say that about Liverpool, they are one of the biggest clubs in the world. We can't deny that. So yeah.
Yeah, but it's...
And just a quick one from you, Ryan. Anything you want to add on that?
Yeah, I was going to just say, because obviously, you're going to go, aren't you? If you're given the opportunity, if I'm getting a message from Barcelona tomorrow, hey, yeah, Ryan, love the stuff you're doing on Seagulls Social, but we're doing Barca Social over here, and we'll triple your money, and we're going to put you out to the masses and give you a lovely apartment in Barca. I am gone by this afternoon on the first flight over to Barcelona. So, but no, I think it's one of them, isn't it? Where with De Zerbi, I agree with Jack. I don't think it's be all and end all. I think he'd be stupid in a way, if I can say that, of throwing it all away for the sake of an unrest on a January transfer window, because we've had some great times under Roberto, but he's still very young as a manager. He's only just at the beginning of his career. I don't think there's a mass great option of clubs that are just going to be there waiting for Roberto De Zerbi to be upset at Brighton so they can have him, because there isn't that a big deal of clubs. And let's face it, unless you're going to one of the huge clubs like Liverpool, like Barca, but again, he's not number 1 on these lists anyway, for a start. Secondly, where else is he going to go? I mean, Villa are pretty set up. Manchester United aren't probably going to go for him, if we're being honest with each other. Man City is still under Pep. Liverpool were going for Xabi Alonso, as we said. So, that already wipes out. Chelsea, if they're stupid enough, will pay above the odds maybe, but then does he value his career more than that? Maybe too. So I don't think there's a great deal of clubs there for him, like people make out. I don't think he'll go to Italy either, just to say.
Really? I think Italy is probably his most likely destination if one of the big clubs come.
Yeah, look, it is. But I think
it's all speculation.
I don't think he'll go there yet. I think it's his most likely end goal. I think he wants to conquer England first. That's just me. I don't know him. I don't know the guy. But from my taking of him as a professional, I'd say he wants to conquer this country first. I don't know.
I think there's always the money problem with Italian clubs as well. That I just don't think they have the funds to sort of bring in the sort of managerial appointments that I think they want to. But yeah, I agree with Ryan. I don't think he's moving on anytime soon, unless it's for a bigger job. I do think I don't think he'll go in the summer as well. I think Liverpool. I think he's a good manager. Don't get me wrong, and this now involves me slanging him off to a certain degree. But I do think there are some flaws to his management style which still need to be ironed out for him to be at a top job. Here we can sort of see the end goal of it, and that we've got different resources and the high risk, high reward stuff. But whether that will slide at Liverpool, where you win 5-0 one week and then lose 5-0 the next, whether that slides at Liverpool at all is a massive. There's a massive question mark over that.
100%. No, 100%. Listen, I would love to talk about this all day, but yeah, we this is the Sheffield United preview, so we will wrap it up. Look, let's start with you, Ryan. Let's get your predictions for Sheffield United. Talk to me.
I hate this question on a podcast, mate. I really do.
It's got to be done. It's a preview. It's got to be done.
I know. And we're going to Bramall Lane, and it's not good, is it? Because I don't want to say we're going to lose because you sound like a complete negative loser. And I don't think we will lose because I think we're better than that. But there's always that dark thing in the back of your head saying that but you saw you against Luton, mate. You need to chill out a bit if I say we're going to win. But I'm gonna say we're going to win because I'm going to say we're a very good side. And I'm going to look at it in my Brighton tinted glasses of we do score a lot of goals when we're on it. And if we do turn up, we can comfortably go there, win 3-0 probably. So I'm going to keep my positivity going with that, and I'm going to say we're going to go there and win 3-0. And everything's going to be great. And we're not going to do anything stupid at the back, and there's not going to be any stupid mistakes. Please, for God's sake, just for one game, leave it out. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah. Estepinian, who just stops running. Yeah. I'm going to go with my prediction. I'm going to go 2-0 Brighton. Yeah, I agree with you, Ryan. I think on our day, if we turn up, the way our style of playing, and I know Jack just mentioned it as well, like that risk versus reward, isn't it, with De Zerbi? So I think if we go with our full strength side and we play the way we can play, I think we will play them off the park and hopefully a 2-0 win. But look, anything can happen, kind of. We saw that at Luton. So, 2-0 for me. Jack, do you want to wrap it up?
I'm going to probably butt the trend and go, we will do something stupid at the back because we always do. We can't stop ourselves, can we? So I'm going to go 3-1. 3-1. I think that'll be, I think we'll do okay. I'm like Ryan, I'm scared of even predicting 3-1 because we'll probably do something stupid and draw 1-1. But 3-1. I think we'll do something stupid at the back and concede a goal late on when we're cruising or something ridiculous.
Yeah, standard really, isn't it?
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Boys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, Jack, for joining us. Ryan, as always, it's been great to have you. Even with Jack's coughing, it's been a pleasure. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Do all that good stuff. And if you're listening on Apple and Spotify, make sure you leave a comment and all the good stuff. So we appreciate you guys, and we'll see you after the Sheffield United game.